forces unseen uncover my path.
Lord Captain, it's you. I thought it was another voice creeping into my head.
The world trembles beneath my feet. My masters with your demise!
This tedium is beneath me. I understand your intent.
None can do this!
tread a path unexplored.
And done.
The world will bow.
I can do that with the right incentive.
Caught by the web.
Let me educate you on the art of pain.
Let your soul be purged. If it serves your cause, another soul slips beyond the veil. Trust me. Let your soul be purged.
My offering! I need no guidance. My resolve is unshaken. I will delight my masters with your demise. Accept my offering!
I am not your...
You bite like a bug! Corpse! I challenge you, damn get!
would that I could.
You've unleashed my fury. A work for a flesh hunter.
Death shall reign.
This tedium is beneath me. I am not your zeal.
Delight my masters with your demise. Accept my offering. True master inflicts the my revenge will be delectable.
Savor your delectable anguish.
I understand your intent.
You will not withstand my vengeance!
A magnific attempt! Savor this pain! Fume with rage! Try mine now!
masters with your demise.
You pay for this in blood. Woe to you.
Anything else?
You call this a strike? You've unleashed my fury. A word for a fleshcrafter. I'll tear your heart out for this.
My blade whispers your name.
Unleash my fury. You will pay for this in blood.
Don't get too cocky.
Rend the flesh. Accept my offering.
Drag you into oblivion with me. Taste my blood. You call this a strike? I will tear your heart out for this.
My aspirations transcend humanity. Intriguing. Let's seize the opportunity.
Monkey... rogue trader. There is something you must do for me. The soul of Erimeris, the Archon of the Reaving Tempest. It should belong to me. I do not know where, I do not know how, but that bitch tried to dispatch me without sullying her own hands, and she deserves to lose her life. Her soul will remain in my soul trap. When we at last face each other, and we will face each other, even if I have to gut all of Camorra to do it. And if you're there when it happens, do not even think of trying to deliver the final blow. Only an Aziriesh has the right to take the life of an Aziriesh, and that right is mine. It is all somewhat more complicated than you're capable of understanding. Our game of old must come to an end. My first step went awry because of Nazrake's treachery. Now all I must do is finish what I started. Destroy her with my own hands before she destroys me. Irimaris is my sister. What does it matter? Yes. Your astonishment is making me think that the monkey are even more primitive than I first suspected. Do not tell me that blood ties carry certain prohibitions and taboos among your kind. Yes. I valued her until she went too far in her attempts to dispose of me. She valued me until I refused to bare my throat for the blade without a word. Our relationship has come to a dead end. Now the tie between us must be severed. Simply killing her is not enough for me. No, it is too banal. Keeping her imprisoned for all eternity in a cage of misery from which there is no escape. That is a fate more to my liking. Her fury and torment will feed me until her spirit dries up like a fountain of blood spraying from a sliced artery. And also, it might make her resurrection problematic. Naive creature. The homunculi of Camorra, including Tavantius, whom Irimaris favors, are able to regenerate our slain kin from small pieces of flesh held in amniotic tubes. Any Drakari you kill on the field of battle can come for you again, albeit at a price, since the homunculus claims a portion of their client's soul as payment for this precautionary measure. Perhaps Irimaris was desperate enough or insane enough to resort to such a contract. Who knows? Having Irimaris' soul in my keeping might make her regrown form, if one appears, defective. She might not remember me or you at all. I did not tell you to think about it. I told you what I need from you, and your response has What are you looking at? Ah, yes. I can hear your frantic pulse. What is it you feel when you look at me? Primal fear, paralyzing horror, inexplicable awe. Allow me to explain. You are enthralled by your proximity to death. Your consciousness is swooning at the unlikely fact of your continued existence. But you do not recognize this because you have been prevented from exploring the limits of your sensation. No such constraints exist in my world. I can show you that world. I can teach you if you do as you are told. An obedient pet. Good. Then start by carrying out my order. If we meet Irimaris, she is mine. And now, go. I'm finished with you, for now. You want to know how and to what end I orchestrated all of this? Ask your questions. When Irimaris ordered us to lay waste to the monkey settlements, Tazara and I encountered resistance. I have hunted your kin too long not to notice how well you in particular were fending off our attacks. The rout in Tazara's arena, the appearance at the plundered vessel. Your kind are usually powerless against us, but not on that occasion. I began to suspect that you could not have managed it without outside help. Help from our side. I began sending out spies and assassins. My eyes and ears infiltrated your vessel, your cities, and they discovered a trail that led back to one of your worlds. A trail that ended with a burned monkey, the source of the information about where and when my cabal was going to strike. A little trickery to draw you away from the planet. And I had your little informant in my grasp. How the information was reaching his agents, the burned monkey himself did not even know. But based on the units involved and other details, it was clear. No monkey in real space could have gathered such specifics about raid complements and objectives. No, it was inconceivable. The information was being fed to you by my own kind, and I knew who. Irimaris Aziriesh, Archon of the Reaving Tempest, my former mistress. A cowardly bitch who punishes anyone who threatens her grip on power. I knew that to win a war against her, I would need the support of the Reaving Tempest's patron, the Cabal of the Black Heart. So I allied with Nazrake, who presided over the trial. I promised him that Irimaris would be humiliated. I promised him evidence. A lowly monkey that would disgrace Irimaris in the eyes of the Archons. For that performance, I needed you. Of course. If I'm not mistaken, you met the infiltrator yourself. A Cabalite who left a lava from Tavantius in one of the monkey. Or did you never work out the reason for the treachery during the raid on your ship so long ago now? Then there is no need for me to mention the sleeper agents hidden on your worlds. Overthrowing an Archon is far from easy, even one who has already tarnished her reputation. Every member of a Cabal has their supporters, and Irimaris is no exception. Nazrake promised me a sham trial in the Obsidian Court with a predetermined outcome. Irimaris should have been convicted and dethroned. I was supposed to take her place and turn the Reaving Tempest into a loyal vassal of the Black Heart. Nazrake was supposed to be the axe that fell on her neck. But it fell on mine instead. It was devious and worthy of praise, but why? A secret pact with Irimaris, or is there another reason? I will tear the answer from his throat along with his final breath. It must be said that Nazrake did not have to try very hard to turn the court against me. Not after the stunt you pulled before the assembled Archons. Who? I have no idea what you saw in your stupor. The homunculus's creature does not elicit specific images. It muddles your mind, forcing it to paint suitable pictures evoking confusion or fear. Neither Tavantius nor I care about fussy monkey rituals. The lava must have created a suitable environment for you, one in which you would be more willing to answer my questions in the Obsidian Court. What do any of my kind do in real space? We were reaping. Kamara was clamoring for meat. The Dark City had suffered losses in the latest disjunction. We needed sources of sweet pain to prime its minds and bodies. When the Archon bade my Cabal collect the harvest from the region, I did not suspect that it would turn into this game between you and me. Conspiring? No. There was no plot between us. She merely rushed to my bait. At first, I planned to use the one you trusted, the burned monkey with whom we had spent long hours awaiting your arrival. But my cousin was so swift. Afterward, she tracked down the monkey, killed him, and took the device that he had been using to contact me. I planted the first poisoned seeds in her soul back at our first meeting. I dropped a hint that I knew what had become of her world. I lured her in and left her with you. Time took care of the rest. That and an unpleasant discovery aboard your own ship. I did not ask her to hand you over to me. No, doing that would have made my poor cousin doubt herself even more than she was already. I simply told her where to seek out the traces of her craft world and the answers to her questions. A favor for a kinswoman, nothing more. And then I made ready for your arrival. For the only way she would reach that place was with you. When a monkey is left alone with me and my art of pain, I plunge them into a deep well of suffering from which they will do anything to escape. Your kind have fragile souls. Your convictions and principles are a delusion that lends a mirage of meaning to your lives. Achilles and I had plenty of time alone together before your arrival. When he went out to meet you, he was already mine. I bought his loyalty with a promise to never touch his body or his mind ever again. I know it exists. I know that my Cabal found it, helpless and stationary, unable to protect its sons and daughters. I know that Iliad's kin began showing up as prisoners in the Reaving Tempest's spire, where they were fonts of exquisite, delightful pain. I spent too much time beyond the limits of our home to learn more than that. But that was enough to tempt Iliad with false hope. Why do you say that? I promised to reunite her with her kin. A long-awaited reunion in a torture chamber. I find that very touching. They would have had so much to discuss. But there would have been time for fun as well. We cousins get together so rarely, after all. Is there anything else? Then what else do you need? Do not keep me waiting too long. My weapon is tired of languishing in its sheath.